morning. Um, this quarter we want to work on pastoral counseling. This is not Choi. Pastoral counseling, well, since I studied the pastoral counseling when I was in THM track, and after that I did work on the pastoral counseling focused on families in a doctoral ministry track. So pastoral counseling is the most interested thing for me. I'm pastor also, so counseling, we all know about the counseling, but the pastoral counseling can be new to you or kind of not familiar with you, because pastoral counseling is counseling provided by pastors or the pastoral care providers. So mainly pastors, priests, monks, or those are all people who can provide the pastoral counseling, we can say. So it's not about the theology stuff. We don't want to touch theology much because pastors or pastoral caregivers are basically we call them pastors or priests. So pastoral care providers, they can avoid the counselings. Or pastors, they talk with people, they can chat, they can joke, they can just, preach or hit this and that. But when they want to care their church members, they have to talk with people, and whether they want or not, whether they want to name them, as pastoral care or pastoral counseling or not, they are doing pastoral counseling. So basically, pastoral counseling is it comes with pastoral work and pastoral jobs. So pastoral counseling is actually essential, one of the essential roles of pastors. So when I say pastoral care, pastoral counseling, or pastoral works or ministries, I want to just focus on the Protestant Christians pastoral care and counseling. Well, there is no big difference between Christians and Catholics or any monks when they want to own counseling areas. So, because basically they have to listen to them, they want to talk to them, but they don't want to direct them. Rather than directing, some pastors, especially the Catholic priests, are directing or give some directions to their church members, parish members, but usually they want to just talk with people. I got a phone call from a stranger yesterday. People are kind of weird nowadays because they want to just talk and get some information from others, but they don't want to let other parties know who they are. So I didn't get any name from the person, and he just started his story right away. There are those kind of people. They don't want to, tell others who they are. Even they don't want to just tell others, their names or ages or any other things, but they want to just get some information. It's like a vending machine. So they think pastors are vending machines, so they just put their, ask their questions, and pastors are supposed to answer to those questions. So, well, people are eating lots of instant food, so it's about the same. So kind of sad, but I just try my best to answer to his questions. Since he didn't open his name and identify himself, so I think I can. That's the good thing for me, is that I can share that story to anybody else. Cause I don't know him, I don't know his name, I don't know who he is. He knows me, I think, but since I don't know his name, he's not my church member. He just stopped by the church and did talk with one of the person. I think now I understand who he is. I think I'm sorry. Well, anyway. But today I don't want to just share that story, but basically he has kind of he's Christian and his wife is Christian. Actually, they are Baptist, and their son is Catholic. So they argue each other's, they debate each other's, and they hate each other's, and they concern each other's. Because Christians and Catholics had a bad history for last 700 years, but they until that time, all Christians were one. There was no Catholic or whatever, no Baptist or Methodist or Presbyterians. They were all one church. So they called Catholic. That means universal. Okay. But Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King or whatever, okay, the reformer Martin Luther started his debate and just stood up against the Catholic Church. He was the Catholic priest though, because at the time, Roman Church, they just wanted to sell kind of certificates. People can buy it and they can be saved or something. Because the church just started to sell that for making money for Saint Peter's Cathedral, the place where the Pope is living in. Anyways, the pastoral counseling. So, anyways, he was the senior. Was fighting with his son because of the denomination difference or religion differences, Christian versus Catholics. Well, he just wanted to persuade his son to change his religion from Catholic to Christianity, but who's gonna listen to their parents in the area? Because religion is pretty tough. I think almost all responsibilities have to heavily on the parents, because I don't know why, but that is the bad culture for Christians, because they just want to believe in God and they just attend the church or something, but they don't care their kids. They think they care their kids, but they don't. They don't teach their kids Bible. They don't teach their kids theology. They don't teach their kids how to pray. They don't teach their kids anything. I mean, nothing. I mean, they don't teach anything to their kids. That's the biggest difference between Jewish and Christians. Jewish people, they teach their kids. And all parents are taking the whole responsibilities on their, kids. So they teach their kids. But Christians are expecting their churches and pastors teach their kids. But they don't just let their kids to, go to church often. Because they think their kids are supposed, their kids want, they want their kids study more than studying theology or something. And they have nothing to expect actually, but they just expect their pastors and teachers teach their kids and they don't do anything. And they just blame their churches and pastors and teachers. I don't think in that point, that's the point I think the churches have no hope because they don't teach their kids. Pastoral counseling. Pastors, they can't avoid the counselings no matter what. They have to talk with their church members. That's the basic thing they have to teach and care their church members. If that is the one of the kind of most important pastoral care, why don't we learn pastoral counseling? Well, we can get lots of knowledges and skills from general counseling. Well, there are some academic and practical areas on counseling: medical, psychiatrists, psychologists. They are practical. If they are focused on the practical things, they are also called the PsyD, Doctor of Psychology. PsyD. Okay. If they are focused on the research, they are also called the PhD in psychology. And education department and social work, and those are kind of main areas they use counselings. So they are basically sharing the same, almost same psychotherapies and psychoanalysis. Kind of diagnosis. For example, DSM-5R something. When I was in THM master degree, I used to use DSM-4, but nowadays they are using DSM-5R something, I think. Well, so pastoral counseling is that important. So how important? Why is pastoral care important? What is your understanding of pastoral care? As I said, pastoral care, if you just work on pastoral care, you have to do, pastoral counseling. So pastoral care is important. That's why it's one of the essential parts of pastoral care. Pastoral counseling is important. Most rewarding part of providing pastoral care. So when we provide caring to our church members, whether they are sick or healthy, you know, whether they vulnerable or not, we provide the pastoral care no matter what, right? And then we can get lots of rewards from pastoral care, because they can grow, they can recover from the hardships, from mental, physical, and psychological and spiritual hardships they have. And most challenging part of providing pastoral care, it's just working with people. When pastors can just preach and study the Bible, it's gonna be the most happiest job, I think. But unfortunately, pastors or pastoring or pastoral care, those are for people who are in their churches. The pastors cannot choose those people. They just come and they're gonna call you pastors. And no matter what, you have to provide the pastoral care. Well, if you don't want somebody, you don't want to provide the pastoral care much. If you like somebody, you want to just provide pastoral care a lot more. Yeah. But no matter what, they are expecting pastoral care from you. And they call you as pastors. Okay? And they're gonna ask you something, ask you questions, and then they're gonna request something, any help, money, attention, love, visiting, phone calling, messaging. Pastoral care is important, and pastoral care is very hard because pastors have to work with people. They have to provide care to those people. But you know what? People are very, how much you can trust others. Well, I just read research for trusting. I don't think Americans don't trust. I don't think Americans trust their neighbors and friends much. It's kind of sad. That's why, lots of people are carrying knives and guns, baseball bats. How many Americans have guns? A lot of people. Parents are buying kind of looks like a toy, but real guns to their kids when their kids are in elementary or junior high or high school. And those are cheap. 200, 300, you can buy guns. They don't trust others. They are buying guns for self-defense. Why they think they need self-defense? Well, I don't want to blame self-defense. I think I need it. And people need it because people go crazy and nobody knows what had happened. Nobody knows what had happened to you. Racism, and people have kind of DNA. All people have DNAs which just make you which can make you hurt others and kill others. Something. So pastoral care is important, and there are lots of rewards, and at the same time there are lots of challenges. Okay. I have, many pastor friends, and some of them left the churches because they got too much stress, and they decided, stop serving churches. Or specifically, they got sick and tired with the people. Because church is a very vulnerable kind of entity. You go any church, you can get the membership easily. You don't need to donate. You don't need to, attend the church often, but you can be the member, and you can raise, and for the voting, you can raise your voice, and you can hurt, and you can say something bad to your pastors' wives are more vulnerable, and that's a weaker target. Okay? And there are lots of people who are not normal or who don't know the common sense, basically. So I think lots of my pastor friends left their churches. Some came back. But almost all church pastors are struggling with something because they got victimized by church members. Well, so they feel depressed. So they need others' help also. So that's the challenge. The biggest challenge is for pastors, people. Okay? I know, weird, right? But I think, in that sense, Catholics are way better than Christians, the pastoral, care-wise, because Catholic people are respecting their priests. They call their priest a father, whether they are way younger than themselves. And the biggest entity, the Roman Catholic, is protecting their priests. And their theology wise, they have to rely on their priests. And the priests have a right to forgive their sins. Or they can stop the communion, some people's communions. Well, Christians and almost all American denominations have that kind of rules and the penalties or something, but they usually don't apply that to their church members because they're afraid of their church members, because people can leave anytime they want. Yes, Catholic people can leave anytime they want to, but if they leave this Catholic church, they cannot move to other Catholic church because all Catholic churches are sharing the old data. But the Christian churches depend, even though they have, strict rules, they just break it. They don't care. Because they can move to other churches anytime they want. They can change their denomination because there are lots of denominations. Well, so basically for pastors, pastoral care is pretty tough job. Okay? Well, all jobs are tough, I'm not saying all jobs are easy, but the pastoral care is tougher. No, I'm not saying that. But the pastoral care is also tough, and it is very tough because of the people. That's what I want to say. So what is pastoral care then? If you are a pastor, you care, take care of all your church members. That's pastoral care. Okay. So pastoral care, there are rewards and challenges. So the definition of pastoral care is the ministry of care and counseling provided by pastors, chaplains, and other religious leaders to members of their church, congregational persons within a faith-based institution. This can range anywhere from home visitation to formal counseling provided by pastors who are licensed to offer counseling services. This is also frequently referred to as spiritual care. Okay? So pastoral care is a ministry. Ministry means if you like it, you can do it. If you don't like it, you don't need to do it. No. Ministry means you have to do it no matter what. Well, as I said, you don't want to just provide good pastoral care to certain people because those are crazy. Well, there are lots of crazy people in your churches. Don't expect that only good Christians are coming to your churches. No. Even Jesus had Iscariot to Judas. He betrayed Jesus. He sold Jesus. He just let people kill Jesus Christ. Okay. And when he preached to people, and do you think all people believed in Jesus? No, they just doubted. Especially Pharisees, Sadducees, and priests, leaders. Okay? Ministry means whether you like it or not, you are supposed to provide pastoral care in a certain level. Okay? And other religious leaders to members of their church, congregation, or persons within a faith-based institution. So, whether you are serving a church, traditional church, or a non-profit organization, you have to provide pastoral care no matter what. This can range anywhere from home visitation to formal counseling provided by pastors who are licensed to offer counseling services. Well, that is kind of a tricky part. Well, if you don't have a pastoral counseling license, you cannot provide any pastoral counseling. If you don't have any, if you don't have any pastoral counseling license, what you are talking with your people and comforting your people are not pastoral counseling. Well, do you think pastoral care and counseling comes first? Was there before pastoral counseling license comes, or do you think a pastoral counseling license was first before pastoral counseling, real pastoral counseling existed? Okay, just think about it, and it's kind of ridiculous. So I'm just telling you whether you have a pastoral license, pastoral counseling license or not. You are doing, and you are supposed to do pastoral counseling no matter what. Okay. All right. So when you provide pastoral counseling, some people are saying that is a spiritual care. or Christian coaching, or Christian formations. There are lots of different languages, but basically you are talking with the people, and that's counseling. They want to talk to you, and they just share their hardships, and they just ask you, any guidance or something, and they have, and pastors are just, talking with those people. Those are all pastoral counseling. Okay? Pastoral care is also a term applied where people offer help and caring to others in their church or wider community. Okay? Pastoral care in this sense can be applied to listening, supporting, encouraging, and befriending. Alright, pastoral care is also a term applied where people offer help and caring to others in their church or wider community. That's pastoral care. You just take care of your people, church members, and you just take care of your neighbors. Those are all those activities are all pastoral care. All pastoral care, okay? So pastoral care in this sense can be applied to listening, supporting, encouraging, and befriending. You just talk with those people, and you pray for them, you visit them, and you share, what you have. You encourage those people, just be their friends. Those are all pastoral care. Within those activities, you are doing pastoral counseling no matter what. You don't need to just sit down in a couch and just write down what your church members are saying and just to pray. Do you think that is the only pastoral counseling? You can chat with your people on the street, in the church court, in the parking lot, on the phone. Those are all pastoral counseling. You don't need to talk with your church members 15 minutes, then you call them pastoral counseling. Who set that time? Well, people are paying by time, by hour, usually 15 minutes or 60 minutes. Okay, and you go counseling center, except the first interview, you usually just talk with your counselors for 15 minutes or 60 minutes, and that's it. And then you have to leave. Okay, because they just set the time, maximum time. So if you want to just talk with counselors, and because then you have to pay for it. Depends on the counselors, degrees or experiences or levels in those counseling centers. You pay, 100 or 300 or more, and they count the time. But the pastors, because they end up getting paid by their church members, if they take charge from their church members, your church members will kick you out because your salary, is the pastoral counseling or all other pastoral care included in your salary. Okay. So counseling, what is it? So you know what the pastoral care is. So for the pastoral care, the counseling is deeply involved. So we are about to connect the pastoral care and pastoral counseling right now. So counseling, what is it? Assisting people to change or to cope with the change that has occurred. That's the counseling. So when, for example, as I mentioned about a gentleman who is fighting with his son because of the religion differences, okay? Catholic versus Christians. So that's the challenge. That's the change, okay? That's the change. Let's say that is a change because they didn't have any fighting or arguing or debating at all and hating until they have, different religions, Catholics and Christians. So that's the change, and that change makes them to fight each other's and to hate each other's. Okay? So he is vulnerable. So he was looking for any help, theological help. Actually, he was expecting theological help. But I just advised him to have relationship recovery must be the first thing they have to make. So, and then because both parties, from Catholics and from Christians, they don't encourage people to fight against their parents or their sons or daughters. It's not biblical, right? So you insist that Christianity is the best or right, and Catholic is wrong, and this person, his son, is saying Catholic is right, your Christians is wrong. Okay. And actually, the gentleman said Catholic, especially the Pope, is anti-Christ, enemy of Christ, right? And all followers are anti-Christ too. But his son is not believing that the Pope is anti-Christ. No. So they are fine. Well, so I just encouraged this gentleman to acknowledge both parties don't encourage people to fight against their son, their children and their parents. So basically they are parents and children, so they have to get together and try to understand it later, but they have to stop fighting. They have to stop arguing. And they have to actually learn from others, and they have to study by themselves too. So his son is supposed to study what the Catholic is. And the father, the gentleman has to study what the Christianity is. And he's the Baptist, so they have to study what they are believing actually. And they have to understand their theology too. They have to understand their history too. And then they want to just share their knowledges and beliefs each other's. And there are so many common things. I guarantee that there are so many common things, but there are some differences between Catholic and Protestants. That's why they just separated 700 years ago. 500 years ago, right? Because Reformation broke in 15, 17. Okay. So I just encouraged this gentleman. I didn't talk with his son because the gentleman called me. So I just encouraged him to think about that and just sit together and try to understand each other's. And if there is no doubt, his son will not be saved, and for the son, his parents are not will be saved no matter what, and then they will be okay. But the gentleman is believing that there is no saving in Catholics, and he's believing all Catholic believers will go to hell. Well, so they have to think about it. So that's what I just have. That's what I just have with the gentleman. So assisting people to change or cope with change. Some people got sick. One of my church members got pneumonia and she cannot come church. Basically, she cannot leave her house. Pretty sad. Can I heal her right away? I wish I can. I can pray for that. But God will answer to it. I have no idea. That's up to Him. But I can beg. I can request. So, in that case, I have to encourage the lady who cannot come church and encourage her to have normal lives as much as she can. That's a support. That's the way I can support the lady. Okay? It's the counseling. I just talk with her on the phone because I can't visit her. I'm not allowed to do it. She's not allowed to, have me in her arms because she got pneumonia. Well, so I'm just trying to encourage her to, be strong. I just say hello, checking. Those are things I can do. Okay. Who needs counseling? My goodness, everyone, including the pastor and counselor. Yes, pastors and counselors are providing counseling to lots of people, and they got burned down. They can get tired. So the counselors, they want to just talk with other counselors. They have the time to debrief. They have the time to take a break. Okay? 3 reasons who needs counseling, why? First one is crazy because we are human and need truth outside ourselves. So we are just human beings. We need counseling. We can face to hardships, any kind of hardships. So we have to have counselings. Because we are not perfect and we are sinners and we are vulnerable. And because we are sinners, we mess up with others, we mess up with God, and we so there are so many reasons. I think that is one of the biggest reasons, I think, because we fall. Redemption. The heart is deceitful, sinful. Well, people, including me, can think, what they are doing is right. Even though they don't understand what they have been doing, but still, they can think that they are right, even though they are not right. And in some cases, they don't understand what they are doing. And they don't know what they are doing. They don't know how much they are hurting others. They don't know how much they can get hurt from others. So that's the problem. And some people are thinking they are okay, even though they are not okay. Well, I just, it reminds me something. When I was in Pastoral University, I just took some classes. Actually, I'm an alumni, so I just took good enough units I could get alumni status. I didn't know that I'm an alumni in Pastoral University. When I was in Pastoral University, I was playing soccer. Yeah, I was playing soccer with some people. Soccer can be tough sometimes. Actually, in most cases. So I was playing soccer with friends, and one of my team members got, he just fall down because he just bumped with other parties, other team members. So other team members just, reached a hand to the person and, "Are you okay?" And my team member said he was painful for him. I think I could see his face, and he said, "I'm fine." And the other team member told him, you don't have to say you're fine, because if you feel pain, what is that? How come you are saying you are okay, you are fine, even though you cannot stand up right away? I don't know. Sometimes people don't understand what's going on and what's happening to those people. And you know what? Some people go and see their doctors often, and people think they are weak and they just have some problems often, and they just see their doctors often, and they live longer than others. I'm strong. I have no problem, but those strong people don't know what's going on in their bodies. A person I know, he got the final stage of cancer. He has no idea what's ever been happening. Don't think that he can live more than 6 months. I have no idea, but roughly, because that's the final stage. It's pretty sad. Like that, like so, we sometimes, or many times, we don't know what's going on in our bodies. We have no idea what's going on in our hearts and minds. And if you expect, or 100% of church members have common sense, you are wrong. And some people are so mean, some people are so low, and some people are so crazy, right? Well, for example, people are saying 1 out of 6 or 4, some people are saying it's 4, has at least a minor mental disorder. They experience at least minor mental disorder in his or her life. 1 out of 4, 6. Let's say 1 out of 5. How many church members do you have? You have 20. Sorry, you're gonna have at least 4 people who experienced or experiencing or will experience at least minor mental disorder. Well, mental disorders or character problems. Some people are hostile, some people are gentle, some people are mild, some people are harsh. Character problems. Some people are arrogant and they don't know what they are doing. And whatever they are saying and doing is right. They think like that, and others can have problems with those people. Counseling, faith working through love. Okay, faith working through love. If that is pastoral counseling, you can say that. But in general, counseling, faith working through love, no, they don't think like that. Maybe they want to just help others, but basically that is their job. They are doing their job and they are providing counseling for making money. That's the basic things they want. And they want to just help others, which is good, as long as they have that kind of heart in them. Okay. I don't want to look down on the counselors or psychiatrists, but they basically those counselors, psychiatrists, those are their jobs. Pastors, those are their jobs. They do those activities for making money, basically. But they are helping others, which is good. Their job is helping others, which is good. But the faith working through love, that's not for general psychiatrists or counselors or psychologists or social workers or educators who are providing counseling education. Okay. A relationship of I'm not saying all pastoral counselors are doing this with love. But anyways, a relationship of trusted motive prevails only when you as a Christian pastor voluntarily accept and effectively carry through with your power as a representative of the love of Christ. You are a servant of people for Jesus' sake. The effectiveness of all pastoral procedures depends upon the singleness of this motivation. Okay? A relationship of trusted motive prevails only when you as a Christian pastor voluntarily accept and effectively carry through with your power as a representative of the love of Christ. Well, pastors know that they have kind of divine authority or physical, the authorities in their churches. And people know that pastors have authorities, they spiritual power or power as the position. Your position, pastor, is the power, okay? But if pastors want to work with with their power, whether that is spiritual power or administrative power, the relationship of trusted motive and love, those are essential for pastors. So you want to just work with the power and love, and they expect, and people expect from you that they can get certain help, spiritual help, or not regular counseling, but the pastoral counseling, whether they understand that or not. The effectiveness of a pastoral procedure depends upon the singleness of this motivation. If you want to just help others with counseling, pastoral counseling, and you want to get some rewards and fruits from your pastoral counselings, you want to have a relationship of a trusted motive, love. You need love for your church members or other, counselees you are helping. If you don't have it, it's hard to expect any fruits or something. Okay? Every knowledge of the human heart, every skill in dealing with human problems is as dangerous as it is useful. And ordinarily, it is the presence or absence of the love of Christ that makes the difference. Well, I was told that, many times the lawyers, because they are experts on laws, they can protect people or they can attack people too. When you are protecting, advocate this party, you are just attacking other party too. If you change your position, you can harm your people, you can help other parties. Well, there can be those kind of plays, and it is existing. It is current, right? Okay. If you know the human heart, if you know how to, solve others' problems, and you know how to encourage others, and you know how to help others, what if you don't help those people? Because you don't like those people. You know how to comfort others, but you don't want to comfort those people. Or if you say this to the person who in a vulnerable situations, if you know these words, your words can help the person. You can hold the words because you don't want to help the person. If you don't understand that, you can just spat it and you can your words can help that person. But because you know when you do this, it can be it can be a good benefit for those people you don't like. You're not gonna provide the help. They're gonna bark from you. They're gonna scream. Okay. Well, those things are very important. So every knowledge of human art, every skill in dealing with human problems is as dangerous as it is useful. Yes. And ordinarily it is the presence or absence of the love of Christ. So do you have the love of Christ? See. There are people you like and you don't like. The problem is that, do you have a love of Christ? If you have a love of Christ, you want to just provide good help to people, or you're not going to do it, or hold it, or stop it. Okay. So this is the first, session of the pastoral counseling today, and we're gonna just take a look the next one next week, right? Thank you.